Hello, good evening, and welcome to another round of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race in 2023. It's Season 2, round number 5. This marks halfway through Season 2 after today, and we have an absolute corker for you this evening. The only way we can describe this, Owen, is chaos, I think.
Yeah, I certainly go along with that, Pete. It feels like, if you've missed the BF1 League, then you'll be right at home. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, forget about BF1 League. This is on another level. The BMW Sauber F106 at Rockingham ISSC will be the 316th RTFR ever on Sim Broadcasts. I don't think the round needs any more of an introduction than that, really, Owen, but we're going to give it one anyway, as we always do. Here is the combo. Yeah, we're going to be weaving the Formula One car from 2006, BMW Sauber's entry, around a 3.1 kilometer, 1.9 mile circuit for 32 laps this evening. That is bonkers, it has to be said. So, the drivers are currently completing the qualifying session. We have a fairly large turnout, which means it's going to be even more chaos than we expected. Let's go through a few statistics on this car then. The BMW Sauber F106 has a 2.4 litre V8 screaming mid-engined rear-wheel drive configuration. It's got 720 horsepower. It's got traction control. It's one of the older spec Formula One cars, but no ABS, none of that nonsense. And it is 20,000 RPM. And it weighs half a ton, so it is bonkers, and the drivers have been getting up to speed in the background. If you want to see what's coming later in the season, well, we know that the next round of RTFR is going to be with the Dorito mod, and that's going to be at an open config version of Fern Bay Green. I think it's the Race Green Events Extended one. So we've used that in the past. It's going to be fun with that mod. But anyway, back to tonight's entry into the calendar. Tonight is halfway through through season 2, which means we have a bit of an update for the Drivers' Championship. Gabor is 1 point shy of the century, with Asker 1 point over half a century there with 51. So quite a big void there, Owen.
Yeah, it's almost double the gap between Gabor and Asker. So yeah, someone really needs to put this impeccable run to an end. We'll see if there is a way through. Gabor obviously was feeling unwell in the previous was it the XL or something like that. He wasn't up to his best.
Yeah, last RTFR 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd say he's fully fit and ready to dominate again. But yeah, it's up to one of the other competitors to try and stop him from reaching well over 120 points or 130 points, that kind of territory.
Yeah, I mean, look at how close the standings are at the top here. Remember, the top drivers in Season 2 will be awarded some prize money, very generously sponsored by World Class Lines, their logo there at the bottom right of your screen. So very, very close from P2 all the way through to, let's be generous, to RD2 and P11. A very, very, very close Drivers' Championship standings. We've got a few pages of these, so let's have a little bit of a scroll and see who is down at the bottom of the standings. Just a few drivers there, but nice to see again a healthy turnout to RTFR Season 2, and it looks like we currently have 29 qualifiers. So as we turn our attention to the track going for tonight's action, we've got 29 cars on the track. A few drivers just leaving the pit lane to start their final effort here then. And look at that top 3. Sidus are on form tonight.
Yeah, that is pretty much the old sort of standards from previous campaigns, the 1-2-3 lockout. So if anyone can split it, it would have to be probably the Master Race Cars duo of either Texas or Zesty. Although we're going to join LG Meese around this lap, see if he can secure. He doesn't have his video link up for us to enjoy, but he is on Twitch if you want to check out his exact perspective. Here we go. Another run through. Going to be quite a long way through after the PIF. Double apex eventually. And then the standard run through. Yet wood, and then the Tarzan hairpin.
I like how you make it sound so standard, Owen. This is nothing. This is nothing standard about this lap. Yeah, this is outrageous. I've never seen a car go around here so quickly. But again, 59 seconds at the top for Gabor and Ricciardo. That is outrageous. How fast that is. It's a short lap, but it's not without corners and plenty of technical detail. And Gabor and Ricciardo are making everyone else look like clowns at the moment. Let's see if Mies will improve towards the end of the session. Is Gabor on a lap? I think he's doing something. I don't know whether he's trying to improve on his time at the moment, as he absolutely whacks the sausage curb and aborts that run. He will have time to get in for another lap if he can get out quickly. Of course, such a fast lap here, such a quick lap. Here's Martin McCarry leaving the pit lane to try and get another attempt in. Here's Jari just coming down to turn 1. Jari Katila of World Class Lions. Oh, actually aborting that run at turn number 1. Asker is just starting a lap, Owen, so let's see if we can commentate an onboard. It is going to be a little bit chaotic because it comes at you so fast, but as we head down into the Dean hairpin, a double apex left-hander, it's, you just have to hold on for dear life. I'm not sure you really have much time to adjust your line. It's kind of one turn in and hope you nailed it. Again, a little bit wide of both of those apexes for Asker. A kick of oversteer on exit into Piff. We're not using PAF or else you'll fly off down the hill, and then hug the inside line as tightly as possible, taking in all those G-forces. Nice tight line through Gracelands there. A little bit of a wobble on exit as we head down to Tarzan. This is a tricky late apex. Oh, deep on the brakes for Asker. A little bit of a lock-up and missing that exit curb. Now, over to the right-hand side for the Brook chicane. And, he's missed it completely, and he's gone over the rumble strip. This is going to be chaos, Owen.
That's what I fear will happen if someone tries to go too wide into that final chicane. They're going to get tripped up by those sausage curbs, and they'll be put out of the race. But Ersk obviously can rejoin, as this is just qualifying. But unfortunately, I don't think he'll do any better than that 17th he occupies. Eoin could put him down a position, actually, if he can find a little bit more time with 3 seconds to go.
Gabor is on a lap. Let's see if he can improve as the clock hits 0. This will be his final attempt. Hits the apex at Yentwood perfectly. Up to Chapman. Will he get the apex right there? Yes, he will. Of course he will. And then we will head into a Piff once more and out towards Graceland. Here is the steel straight and into Gracelands. Lovely. Doesn't touch the curb on the inside, of course, because that will upset the rear differential on this car. Nicely down to the hairpin there. Very, very, very nice. And then just one final chicane to go. Will he make it through? Unlike Asker. Nicely in. Nicely through. And nicely out. He makes it look so effortless.
Oh, he does, for sure, yeah. All this practice that goes on behind the scenes doesn't quite match his provisional pole time, but it was damn close. So, well done to him. Yeah, as you were saying, it's effortless for him, but the fact that all the hours of practice that we don't get to see, yeah, that's probably where the effort does appear from. So yeah, absolutely extraordinary stuff.
Indeed, I agree. And, we have everybody finished. Falcon was the final car across the line. Blink and you miss it, that qualifying session, quite honestly. So fast-paced. But here it is. Gabor will take the pole position with Rick Cardle, his teammate, alongside. Sidus Unite and Texas will be row 2. Zesty and Tullio will be row 3. Rony Mantas, row 4. Pekka Koivunen, Tamuli, row 5. Soini, Falcon, Pedro Biar, Magrio, Motta Macari, Jari Katila, Johnny SVK, Asker, Mad Jester, and Ayub El Hanouni, your top 20. Over on the second screen, we are going to have a few other drivers, 9 to be precise, and that's Hashiroku, LG Mies, Redbot, Dominic Greason, iGenesis, Martin Capal, Ruby, Pablo, and Christy. Owen, we've got quite a few drivers there, actually 2 drivers outside the 110 even, so not entirely sure if they will be allowed to start the race. We've also got Dominic Greason, iGenesis, Martin and Ruby outside the 107, and in fact I think Redbot's also Redbot and Mies are outside Redbot, they're just outside the 107, so yeah. Just inside the 107. My mistake. But yeah, it's close to the cusp here. This is how technical and tricky this track is. So the discretion lies with Rony as to whether these drivers will be starting, and we will go from there. Eoin, the qualifying session was so quickly over that we've now got 8 minutes to spare, and we're going to put those to very good use.
Yeah, I wonder what this will be about.
But I think you can make some sort of best guesstimate about what's coming up. For all of you who aren't sure what's coming up, well, we have a treat for you. It is the 8 Hours of West Hill by the Argentina Turismo team, presented, of course, by us here on our channel from midday UTC +1 on Sunday, October 1st. I cannot wait for this event. A number of other members of our team can also not wait for this event, so much so they're already preparing what they're going to have for breakfast, lunch and dinner because of this event does occupy quite a lot of our day. We are massively looking forward to it. You can drive either of the 2 cars available in your teams, but sign-ups are closed, qualifying is done. We have a grid and we are going racing for 8 hours of West Hill this Sunday. Please tune in, and while we wait for the drivers to get ready tonight during RTFR, we're going to play you the teaser trailer. Sign-ups are closed, but we're just going to play you the teaser trailer anyway because it's so good. See you on the other side. Eight Hours of West Hill coming to you from the Argentina Turismo team this Sunday, October 1st from midday. We hope you can join us. If you're driving, good luck. If you're not driving, then why don't you pull up a seat, get comfortable, get some good snacks in, and join us in the box for 8 hours. It's always a laugh. The first hour is maybe semi-serious, Eoin, and then it just devolves into, well, we just become animals for the rest of the race.
Yeah, on past experience, you want to make sure everything's under control in the opening hour. Whether you're in the team, you have the important duty to get everyone's day off to a good start, or if you're going solo, hopefully not this time we'll be having people going solo, but nevertheless, it's really important to start well, and then as the driver swaps occur, there might be a few risk takers, might be safety cars that'll upend strategies. So a lot can happen in the 8 hours of any day, and this West Hill Endurance will be no exception.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the team list here for the sign-ups just to see if there are any solo entries. I know that a couple of people have tried to do solo entries. I don't know if Michael Malik is doing it solo. It would appear as though he is. Car number 47, Ferret Motors. Michael is going to try and do all 8 hours on his own. Anybody else on this list attempting it solo? I've not yet familiarised myself really with what's going on, but I'm sure all the preparation will begin in earnest from tomorrow morning. But we're looking forward to it, and we just wish everyone luck, don't we, Eoin? It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, it's going to be a super celebration of Live for Speed and everyone who takes the time out to make our multiplayer sessions a truly special occasion. So I'm really excited for it now.
Chris confirms that it is just Michael doing it solo, so fair play to him. He's going to have an afternoon of it. Which car is he driving? That's an interesting one. Is he going to be driving the prototype, or is he driving the GT3? On my records, it's the LMP, so he really has his work cut out. He's going to be driving the prototype 2 instead of the Protec there. So Michael Malik is going to have a heck of a day. Fair play to him for doing attempting all 8 hours solo. Anyway, that's enough of the 8 hours of West Hill. we're looking forward to that. But we're also looking forward to probably an equally crazy race coming up in about 3 minutes' time, with 29 or so. We think maybe slightly less because of the times of some of the drivers in qualifying. Cars around Rockingham ISSC, the international sports car circuit, now defunct, unfortunately, in Corby, England. It is now a second-hand car lot, and in fact, I think there's other plans for the site now, but it's currently full of cars. Unfortunately, is no longer used as a racetrack. But we like that it's available in Need for Speed. We often comment on the fact that we have the true-to-life replica in LFS to enjoy for as long as we're able to use LFS for it. And we get to try something that probably never happened and probably should never have happened, the Formula One cars racing around Rockingham. Not sure that would have flown with the FIA, Eoin.
No, Rockingham would not suit the Formula One's sort of configurations, to be honest. I know Indianapolis back in the day caused a fair few stirs, and Rockingham was just a little bit too small for it, to be honest. So yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, we may as well try it out in a simulated experience.
The safer way to enjoy, for sure. But anyway, tonight's action is going to be coming up in 2 minutes' time. So let's refresh everybody's memories from a few minutes ago when we went through the grid. It's going to be the Sidus teammates of Rick Cardle and Gabor sharing the front row. Gabor pipped his teammate by just over 0.3 of a second. And then Unite in P3. Texas, Zesty, Tullio, Rony, Mantas, Koivunen, and Thamuli, your top 10. And what a top 10 it is. A lot of experience there. Tullio, to be honest, a surprise entry up there, Eoin. A name we have seen fairly recently appearing on the screens on sim broadcasts, but clearly he has the BF1 dialed in qualifying trim. How will he fare in race trim? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he has been fiercely unlucky at times, knowing that he was competing for top 5 or maybe even the podium, and then for whatever reason it just got away from him. So I'm hoping today is his day. He could potentially cause MRC and maybe even Sidus some problems. Yeah, there is a lot of competition up and down the grid. So yeah, that's what I would love to see from RTFR.
Yeah, RTFR, never ever predictable. A trial testing ground for a number of drivers who are just dipping their toes maybe into LFS, deciding whether to commit to it full time. And we like to see new faces, even if they are coming back from a bit of a sabbatical. Great to see new names, especially up there in qualifying. So keep an eye on the number 12, Tullio. We have a grid. Let's go to the race and enjoy 30 minutes of racing with the BF1 at Rockingham.
Yeah, let's do so. Sidus triple at the top of the order. MRC 4th and 5th. Can anybody put an end to the Gabor's domination? This is the test. And the run down to the opening Dean hairpin shall begin now. Oh, it's going to be hard with that wheel spin to keep it under control. Unite may have struggled the most. Texas slips in behind straight away. Gabor, excellent start, but actually it's Rick Cardle slotting in behind. Unite on the attack. Can he get the inside? He can. Gabor is left isolated, but he does get better traction.
Yeah, we've got loads of cars going off at turn 1. They're going to have to recover and rejoin at the back, but it's Gabor with a clean start ahead of Unite, and Rick Cardle has dropped down to P3. Unite had a really, really nice start.
Thamuli facing backwards there, but he's thankfully able to carry on. Chapman sees another car loose. It's Kapal. He's now in last place. At the battle at the top, Gabor has his lead back. Unite keeping him very, very honest. And there is Tullio. He has risen to 4th place and best of the rest.
Yeah, indeed, he's doing absolutely brilliantly there in the purple car, keeping up with the 3 Sidus drivers. Rick Cardle driving the Sidus livery there, the red, white and yellow car, but Unite's got the jump on him at the start, and they're opening up a bit of a gap. Unite is not letting Gabor get away. These guys, of course, very experienced in the MRC BF1 series over the years, and we've got a race on our hands. Gabor not getting away right now. Meanwhile, in the background, Johnny SVK going for a move on the inside of oval turn 1, and job done. But can Oscar come back at him in the braking zone? No, Johnny SVK has that move made. Meanwhile, Yari running quite wide.
He's wide.
Oh yeah, there we go. He's back through.
So attempt failed there, but still the car is in one piece, so you can try again. Redbot having that lap 1 instant, he's actually gained a few places with others falling off at times. Let's see if he can actually break back into the top 15, knowing that ahead of him it's Tamuli and Johnny SVK in the fetching Bernard Green livery. That's one I actually must assume is a custom design one. I don't recognise it at all. So, yeah,
I like how you pronounced it Bernard. I was going to just say Bernard just because it's funnier. But yeah, there we go. Tamuli makes the move on Johnny SVK into the Brook hairpin. Chicane, and makes, well, good effect. Unite with the fastest lap this lap round. As Mantas is on a move around the outside, potentially here on Motta Macari, another one of the Zafralis drivers, and they get very, very close. Whoa. Motta Macari moving back up the oval banking and almost wiping Mantas out there, Eoin. That was close.
That was hold your breath kind of driving, but it has kept both cars in the race. So thanks for that, drivers. Well done. On board with the other West McLaren, it's Mad Jester representing David Coulthard's car. So can he get past Motta Macari at Tarzan? There isn't going to be a clear gap. Oh, he fills it in though. That was a bit of an opening left behind by Motta Macari. So yeah, he was not expecting that, so he left the door wide open.
Yeah, good move. Mad Jester moves up into P11, and we ride on board with him out onto the oval as Gabor gets the fastest lap of the race and opens up a bit of a gap to his teammate Unite. He's found some pace out there, and Rick Cardle actually is coming under pressure a little bit from Tullio whilst trying to get past his teammate Eoin. Tullio is on a mission here.
Yeah, this is really, really courageous driving here for Tullio. Yeah, if he can actually find the squabbling teammates at a moment of concern, then he can definitely overtake them. I think his split times are on target, just about 2/10 behind that time. So yeah, this is absolutely on for Tullio, and he'll certainly shake up the championship even more with Gabor starting to build a gap for himself. He's pretty much in the clear for the moment.
Hearing that there are problems at the back for Texas, who spun himself so badly, he's ended up in an area I can't even pinpoint where that is on the lap. I think it's
Gracelands.
It's from Dean. We're looking at him. From Tarzan. So it's up at Gracelands. You're right, Eoin. As Texas there tries to rejoin, but way down in 21st place. Tullio, a bit of a wobbly exit onto the oval, but still trying to get past Rick Cardle, who himself is kind of caught in the dirty air, I think, of Unite. Unite has certainly dropped off the back of Gabor. Gabor's opened up almost a 2.5 second gap. There he goes, just disappearing into Gracelands, out of view. This lap just happens so quickly in this car. You can barely talk about one corner before you're already at the next one. Luckily, Tarzan is probably one of the slowest corners on the lap, so we can relax for a little bit. But yeah, Tullio is closer to Rick Cardle than Rick Cardle is to Unite. Let's see what happens as they come out of the Brook chicane for the fifth time of asking. And again, Tullio a little bit wobbly there.
Yeah, he may just have a setup that is sensitive to the dirty air at slow speeds, and then he gains a little bit back when they are on the quicker oval section. It does perhaps help him that Unite and Rick are taking a few tenths off one another, and that brings him back as well with his particular driving style and his setup. So yeah, this is far from over, but Pedro Bior's filling the gap left behind by Texas. So that's good news for MRC in among.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. It's been off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pete. Yeah, that's a big one. It must have been at PIF. Obviously, that's something that's happened off camera. We can't tell you what happened, but PIF would be a good guess. But Tullio is all over now, still over the back of Rick Cardle. He's not letting him go. Having just said that, he did make a bit of a hash of the chicane, but I don't think it matters. He seems to be catching up to him at the end of each lap, so just needs to settle into a rhythm here, does Tullio, and he could take at least third place at this rate. Yeah, it's certainly potential for Tullio. He does get loose there, but he carries on just fine. Zesty is now in sight here with the Fusion livery. Very snazzy one there. Now it's 9th place Koivunen. So we have a series of drivers representing 4 different teams here. So Pedro at the top in the Toro Rosso, then Rony, Mantas, and now Koivunen's on board. Ayub having a rough time of it. He has been in supremely good form in recent weeks, so this is really unfortunate that he requires a pit stop for damage.
Yeah, unscheduled pit stop that. You're not supposed to make a pit stop during RTFR. Zesty has caught and passed Unite as well. So Unite has had an absolute mare of a start to this race. Looked like he was racy up with Gabor, but he's overheated his rear tyres, and it's not going to be a comfortable rest of the race for Unite. Zesty moves up to P4 now, and that is Ayub rejoining from the pit lane just behind. 1 lap down now to our race leaders. That's how short the lap is. He's already been done by a lap. Let's talk about Gabor then. 3.6 seconds. Looks comfortable out front. Not an easy lap by any stretch of the imagination, so he can't push too hard, although I know he will. Here's Rick Cardle. There goes Gabor through your shot. And he's currently P2. Zesty up to P3. So Tullio has had an incident, a big one.
Oh no!
Look at him; he's all the way down. He's on off the track just at Steel Straight. Also, Rony in the background has had a bad lap as well. But Tullio all the way down to P9. So must have dropped it at Piff, I think, or just after Piff, Owen.
Yeah, that might be the source of a lot of trouble. The left-handers near enough to the grass will force the car to understeer, or maybe in certain cases will oversteer and snap, and then you're doomed if you're touching the outside grass there. So yeah, you've got to be really, really careful. Yeah, it could be the case of it's more the drivers just pushing a little too hard rather than getting involved in collisions. And I barely
as you
finished
said,
that sentence as the teammates collide.
Unbelievable, Owen. That was a great call. Yeah, the rule number 1 of Formula 1 is don't take out your teammate, especially not as the commentator is talking about taking out your teammate. Fantastic incident there between Motomikari and Thamuli. I'm sure they enjoyed that, and we'll have chats about it later, but that was a big dive, and clearly he didn't see that coming at all, turned in and then gets spun around. So unlucky there for Motomikari, but you know, what can you do? Mantas is right. Go on, take it away, Owen.
Yeah, Pedro Bior. He has Mantas for company, and certainly the slipstream is going to be a huge player here. Gaining 4 or 5 miles an hour before turn in. Mantas on the inside line for Dean. Koivunen watching and lurking to see what happens, but it's a comprehensive overtake for Mantas, and he enters the top 5. So MRC, they were previously excited to have 2 drivers qualifying so high. Now they've only got Zesty left.
Yeah, I mean, in this race, I think Pedro will take P6, frankly. But let's see what's going on, because consistency is what you're rewarded with in the BF1. Of course, you need to absolutely have consistent finishes. Consistent laps in order to get to the finish, and then depending on how consistent you were, depends on is the result of how high up you will end up. Mantas currently P5, and looks like he's got the pace to pull away, but 20 seconds off our leaders. It's going to be difficult for him to catch up to Unite unless he makes another error. Feel a little bit sorry for Ayub, because he's in a bit of a tricky situation now. He has the legs, obviously, but does he risk overtaking Unite, who is a lap ahead of him now, and getting in his way? It's a tricky situation, tricky balance to strike. Rony is over the back of Motomikari here. A little bit of a dodgy exit, too much wheel spin. Might not be up the back of the Zaffarales car. Oh, we've got a car off. That's Mad Jester at Yant we're doing.
Yeah, he will have a chance to rejoin after Timu. That's his top 10 gone for the moment. a retrievable situation, but one he'll be kicking himself with. Yeah, we know how tricky it is in Sector 1 here. If you hit the sausage curb there, Yentwood, you're in real trouble. So, yeah, thankfully he didn't hit it, and he only had to wheel spin his way out of the gravel trap. Rony's in the background here, Pete. So let's see if Monty McCarry concedes the position. Oh, he slid wide there on the turns, the exit of the corner, and he caught it well though. He's gonna be wary here. Sausage curb on the second apex, and now Rony should hopefully get the slipstream. He didn't get the traction though.
No, he didn't, and you saw the car just bogged down, and that's probably all Monty McCarry needs. No, Monty McCarry goes wide. Rony might have a chance here. The slipstream is massive on this car. Rony's going to go for it. He has to go for it. But will Monty McCarry have the switchback? No, more contact. And Rony, so unlucky there to have had that, but has to start all over again.
Yeah, he has to pick himself up and retry all of that work. Maybe Monty McCarry will lift and coast through one of these corners just to try and maybe get him back into the race.
Not a chance, Owen.
No. Okie doke. This is Arska's decision to pit, so Ayub does gain a position whilst in the shadows of Unite there. So yeah, every reason to carry on in this race and see what could happen.
Tulio the other way on the outside here.
There's
contact.
A bump there, a bit of a squeeze from Koivunen with the barrier on the outside. Tulio thankfully carries on, as does Koivunen. But Pedro Bior, this is also for position, so these two drivers really want to be able to say, I will threaten Pedro Bior's position, and I'm not going to have anyone else distract me while I do it. So yeah, this is a big deal, as Tulio wants to fight back to where he was before.
Martin Capal's off at Yentwood. He regains control, but down in P14. He seems to be in a bit of a void there. There's Rony catching him in the background. We need to pick back up with the battle with Tulio, because Pekka Koivunen has just dropped a wheel in the grass at the exit of Tarzan. Can Tulio start to climb back up the order then, out of the exit of the oval? Again, oversteer, but Koivunen's also had an oversteer, Owen, and Tulio might have a chance. Oh,
not there yet. It's too close for the slipstream, and bump drafting is not a smart idea in this car. So yeah, he does manage to use the apron to his advantage, and Koivunen has little opportunity to counter-attack. So Tulio will notice Pedro, his last lap time was quicker with all that battling going on, but Tulio knows he's got the higher peak than Pedro, and has certainly got a chance to catch up, as Timu did not get his acceleration point correct there, so he's in the grass and loses the position to Martin Capal.
Yeah, Timu Soini was about to go for an overtake on Majesta, and I think his blood pressure must have gone up so high with the thought of overtaking someone that he lost it on the exit. Unfortunate there for Soini. But yeah, hopefully he can try and catch up to, who's that just got past? Martin Capal, because Martin Capal's not been having a fantastic race either, really. Down in P13, he enjoys the BF1, I think. He's had plenty of runs in it in the BF1 league over the years. Well, yeah, he won't be happy with that for sure. So let's see where he ends up in 15 or 16 laps time.
Yeah, we're not even halfway there yet. Gabor, you will see traffic a little bit further ahead of him, but that's no concern to Tulio. He is through on Pedro. Pedro's lost positions. Unite again.
Yeah, it's game over for Unite. He has to come in the pit lane. Those rear tyres are gone. He's just losing so much time, and when Unite can't control the car coming out of a corner, you know that the car is done for. So I think that car is either going to be wheeled into the pit lane for a tyre change or a setup change, or Unite will quite simply retire at the end of this lap.
Battle resumes between Tulio and Koivunen, with Pedro now behind the pair of them. So fourth place is a little bit too far away. So this is a glorious opportunity to secure a top 5 finish. There's a car facing
it's Martin.
the wrong way. Yeah,
he's beached. It's going to be taking him a long time to get out of that. We haven't got time to keep an eye on you, Martin. Sorry, because Martin McCarry is going for a move, or at least battling there with Texas, who's trying to take something away from this race, as Martin Cabal does indeed retire from the race. And let's see if Texas can make a move. He's definitely close enough to the back of Martin McElroy to try and get something done here. Will he go to the outside? Yes, he does. Risky move around the outside, but he's got the overlap, and Martin McElroy's got nothing to do.
Understeer for Tinu. Blue flags are going to be coming. There's our race leader, Gabor, number 1, McLaren. Martin McElroy spins. There was possibly a bit of contact.
Definitely.
Martin McElroy suffers the same fate as Martin, but he's got to keep it rolling.
Got to keep it going.
He's got to keep
back it out. Got to keep the revs up. No, he's doing the right thing. He's got the hill now, so he will be able to get the car out of the gravel. That kitty litter is very grippy if you get the car stopped. He needs to be careful not to drive back into it. Now he's got it all hooked up. But yeah, Gabor having to weave his way through traffic now. Such a short lap, only 59 seconds in qualifying for Gabor. Not doing those sorts of lap times now, of course, but yeah, the traffic is upon him. There goes Rick Cardle. And still a huge void back to Zesty now. Those top two are so far ahead. 12 seconds between Zesty and Rick.
That's very true, yeah. The dominant pair, having started first and second on the grid, they've maintained their positions. Rick has passed all but one of the remaining lap cars in his way, but Gabor will soon reach... I think it's would it be Rony? Yeah, it'd be Rony. He has to lap next, so yeah, Rony I'm sure will be alert to what's going on behind him and will pull over whenever the blue flags are summoned. So yeah, this will be crucial for Gabor. Doesn't want any distractions, knowing that Rick has beaten most of the traffic at this stage.
Yeah, you mentioned this livery earlier. I really do like the Fusion livery. Really cool. As Zesty is showing everybody how good he is in the BF1. Definitely a car he enjoys. And we've got Thamuli going for a move on Pedro somewhere out on circuit. That's it, Yentwood into Chapman now. And we have 3 cars pretty close together. Unite still going down there in P9. Yeah, he must think he can finish with the tyres he's got. As we go from the wide angle.
I think he's gotten rid of the worst of the jitters, and he can possibly, use the benefit of these drivers ahead of him, give him a slipstream and cool the tyres down a little bit more, and then get back onto full attack if he overtakes them both. So let's see what happens through the final chicanes. And oval turn 4 just completed there now.
It's a cool angle. This isn't hovering in mid-air. This camera. This is actually perched on top of the enormous timing tower at Rockingham. So if you were up there with a camera, this is probably what you'd see. The brilliant thing about Rockingham as a circuit is that you could sit in the grandstands and you could watch the whole race from your seat because of how big the grandstands were at Rockingham. I say were, they're still there, it's just not a racetrack anymore. But this was the view you'd get. You'd be able to watch the whole race. You'd need a pair of binoculars when the touring cars went down into the very back section of the track. But through Gracelands and through Piff Paff, it was very, very clear from the grandstands. If you had decent eyesight, Famuli, he's locked up his brakes and braked way too late. I think they're into Tarzan.
Yeah, and he reached the point of no return, unfortunately. The hard lockup, putting him off circuit, and Mad Jester also profits from that mistake. So yeah, that's P9 there for Mad Jester, and his fight back is proving worthwhile. And we have another spinner.
Mantas spinning. He's inside the top 10. He's currently in P4. So
big hit as well at Chapman. This is LG Meese at Chapman. He had a crash, just went straight on into the barrier. He does spot a gap, but he's got to be quick. And that's actually his teammate, so that's not too bad. He would have been able to communicate with him, or at least Martin McElroy would know what happened.
Yeah, Meese not having the best day of it, but I'm sure he will be enjoying himself. It looks like a fun combo, to say the least, as Gabor is looking to put a lap on Rony. Rony currently in P13 with Gabor chasing him down. Where are they going to spot Positions, I wonder. There's Redbot as well, so these two need to be careful. They're in a fight for currently P12, are Rony and Redbot, but they have the leader behind, so they do need to let him through. Redbot moves out of the way of Gabor, but lets Rony through, so Rony's been very cheeky with that one.
Yeah, that's no mercy on his teammate. So he definitely outsmarted him there. Rony doesn't want to waste this opportunity to have a battle with Gabor, even if it's going to be a very short battle. Jari could tell, though, this is also for position, so Rony lurking in the background could possibly gain 2 positions under blue flags.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to see it now. I want to see if Rony can stay close enough to Gabor to use a slipstream to a good effect on Jari. Rony and Jari obviously know each other very well, and Jari's let Gabor through. Rony's going around the outside. Is it going to work? I think it might here. Oh no, Rony, too much wheel spin. Unlucky, but that was very opportunistic driving there from Rony. Jari a little bit too generous maybe with the space he gave to Gabor, but Rony now, if he gets a good exit, might be able to do something here.
Just off camera, he hit the sausage curve a little bit, and he lost his exit. His exit line. Unite, though, this is for position also against Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro with some questionable defending on the oval, weaving all over the place. Unite won't be impressed with that, but we'll try and do the move somewhere. That is an old, what is that, Toro Rosso livery on Pedro Biar's car. Blast from the past.
Yeah, one of the last ones before the AlphaTauri rebranding, and obviously AlphaTauri's going to be rebranded again. So
is it? That news has missed me.
Yeah, it's going to be something like Hugo Boss or Adidas.
Oh my!
Yeah.
So AlphaTauri not working for Red Bull then?
No.
Oh well. So Pedro Biar will have another opportunity to weave like a madman down the oval and defend from Unite. Unite will have to be more intelligent this time. Where's he going to get through? Is it going to be the outside? Yes, it is. Tries to do it around the outside. Pedro Biar late on the brakes. Can Unite do the switchback? No. Those rear tyres really aren't doing him any favours, are they?
No, that is that's the sticking point here for Unite because of those spins he had. He has gained a little bit of his rhythm back, and Pedro will be feeling this pressure lap after lap at this stage. But Gabor has built a gap of 5.5 seconds over Rick Hardle. Traffic or no traffic, it just seems like Gabor cannot be put off his game today, and he's actually going to put a little bit of power slide on through Tarzan as he puts a lap on Themuli.
Yeah, well, Rony's just got past Themuli, and Themuli's I think Themuli was sorry, not Themuli, it was one of the backmarker Zafaralis cars, my mistake, was letting Rony through. So yeah, Rick Cardle will now swing past on the inside. Rony's going to pick up a bit of a cheeky toe. Unite spun again, Dean.
Yeah, so much for his confidence being restored. That's put him behind Themuli and Mad Jester. So Mad Jester is going to challenge Pedro, so Pedro still has no reprieve. Someone just pops up and decides it's my turn for a shot at P7.
Yeah, P8 again now for Mad Jester, climbing back up the order and potentially has another position in his sights. That's Pedro Biar again, just up ahead. Now let's watch him through the Brook chicane. Let's see if he gets a good exit. So many drivers have struggled to get good exits. Spooked on the brakes a little bit by Pedro there. Pedro will have the advantage out of the corner. Manchester a little bit tentative to full power there. Pedro Biar a little bit maybe overconfident on the gas pedal, but able to get a good enough exit. And Manchester will have to try again somewhere else on the lap. Only a handful of laps to go here, Eoin. Not long to go.
But to be honest, yeah, Rick gained 1.5 seconds that last lap, so it's not all over yet. But actually, Mach Macari did not notice Rick was coming to lap him, so Mach Macari put into a spin. Rick carries on, but yeah, that would have been a huge distraction. and all that effort, that last lap has been taken away from Rick. Actually, it's Unite ahead of him now, so Unite could actually give him a tow on the oval straight. So yeah, that was Rick's last chance, barring any interference elsewhere. Pedro finally breaks under the intense pressure, and that means Unite gets his way, but it is indeed Mad Jester who now holds P7, and he'll see the number 1 McLaren coming for him now. So there you have it, the two identical liveries with the numbers switched around. They're having a meeting at last.
Yeah, it's nicely done, but whoa, Mad Jester. I mean, fair enough for getting offline, but braking, really? No need for that. That was a little bit close. But yeah, Mad Jester back up to P7 after a very strange place to lose it for Pedro there. He was on the school straight on the inside. I mean, that's unusual.
You'd normally have Tarzan. It's a long way to get back on acceleration, but normally you would have a handy idea of when to get back on the power. So it was unfortunately a case where Pedro got it wrong, and he has to try and beat Tamuli for the 10th place while he still has the time. Lap 28 for the race leader now, and yeah, Rick still trying to get closer to his teammate and benefit from the slipstream, but he needs a little bit more oomph to make absolutely certain of his move on his teammate.
Yeah, calm as you like here from Gabor. Let's ride on board with him and watch him around one of the laps here. 4 to go at the end of this one, and he looks just so calm at the wheel, just no drama, just nice and smooth, perfect lines, perfect braking points, smoothly back on the power, and away he goes. And that is the Gabor way. Bit of a kick of oversteer there, but no harm, no foul. Watch him through Brook. Super quick lap here. Nice and chilled. Slowly onto the power, a little bit into the traction control, but that's what it's there for, and a nice clean lap from Gabor. It just makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and it's the fastest lap, so great timing on the director cam there, everybody. So fair play. Yeah, we enjoyed that. And at last, Rick is guided through by Unite. Still a 6.5 second deficit to gain, but Gabor has a very healthy gap on circuit. He won't have any lapped cars coming up for a while, as it's by the time he's finished with Piff there, the nearest competitor's finished with Tarzan.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised with the amount of spinning and dodgy rear tyres that Unite's had, that he's still in P8. I mean, he's still in the top 10. This is a little bit absurd. But let's see, can Rony catch him and overtake? Rony's had his own misfortune in this race, so let's see what his pace is like compared to that of Unite. Only 9/10 of a second at the previous timing line separated them. And as we head onto the oval, well, Unite looks like he's got it in hand for now, as Gabor goes across start-finish and makes it 3 to go here. Lap 30 of 32, and Gabor looks like he's on his way to yet another RTFR victory. Add another few points to his tally. He will cross over the 100-point mark in the Driver Championship standing and should open up his lead to more than 50 points over any other driver. That would be absurd.
Yeah, at the halfway point, it seems like World Class Lions need to write the check by October, to be honest. It's almost all over by the shouting.
Well, I'm sure World Class Lions will be well aware of Gabor's dominance so far, but I don't think they'll be willing to write any checks just yet, because the unpredictability of this series is such that anything can happen. It doesn't take much for Gabor to tumble from that high point, but at the moment it doesn't look like anybody can take things away from him. He is driving at the top of his game and proving time after time after time that he does have what it takes to be the best at the moment in Live for Speed. in so many different categories of driving. Doesn't matter what you put him in at the moment, he is absolutely on another level. Obviously ill a couple of weeks ago, didn't quite get the win there, but this is a return to form. He's shrugged off the cold, the man flu's in the bin, and he's back to it. And as I said that, Mantas steals the fastest lap.
Oh.
Well, where was this earlier, Mantas? You know, you're in P4, you're away off the front, but it's a bit late to show this sort of pace, isn't it?
Yeah, he would have qualified probably 7th or 8th or thereabouts, because Tulio was 6th. The MRC, Zesty, and Texas combo were 4th and 5th. Pedro Bior, yeah, this is a sad ending to his race, knowing what he had, and obviously Gabor noticed what had happened and he got fastest lap straight back.
Yeah, was not happy with that.
1 minute dead lap time soon enough.
Well, he's on the final lap, so now it comes down to who is bravest on that final lap to steal the fastest lap of the day. Gabor would sorely like pole the win and the fastest lap. Every driver would, as we've actually got Rony and Mad Jester swapping places, and that's because Mad Jester has left it till the final lap to have another incident, and he might even be overtaken by Thamuli. Yes, he is. Thamuli up the inside. We've got to turn our attention back to Gabor, though, because it's the final chicane. Eoin, take him to the flag.
He completes the 3-prong chicane there and past oval turn 4. Quick dash to the line. Gabor back to his very best. He wins with a new fastest lap, just to make it absolutely sure that he is the Supremo today. Well done, Gabor.
Epic stuff. Pedro Biar's been off again, apparently, on the final lap, but it's Rick Cardle who takes P2. It's going to be a bit of a wait, but Zesty will have that P3 spot. Here he comes, just after Red Bot. There he is. Zesty takes the 3rd spot on the podium, 24.8 seconds off our race leader. Gabor and Rick Cardle were on another level here today. Rick Cardle a little bit under the radar. He was a bit unlucky with a few incidents there, Eoin, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, definitely. Some drivers, they were hard done by through getting off the circuit and into the gravel or the grass. So yeah, one driver ran out of fuel at the end. Who was it again?
Zesty.
Yeah, Zesty. Yeah, he certainly played that fine. That's a relief that he made. It would have been absolutely gutting to lose a very impressive podium over a loss of his fuel. Yeah, Mantas P4. That's a solid job. 6 drivers on the lead lap there, and then 19 finishers overall.
Mantas equalled Gabor's fastest lap on the final lap, but because Gabor set it first, Zesty equalled the fastest lap with Gabor, but because Gabor set it first, he gets fastest lap honours, a 101.07 for Gabor and Zesty. And Zesty out of nowhere sets a blazing lap. But it is Gabor who takes the gold medal this evening, ahead of Rick Cardle, his teammate, by just 7 seconds. Rick had to deal with quite a lot of stuff in that race. He seemed to be tangling with a few cars. Zesty gets some silverware. In fact, it's going to be bronze, but there we go. 3rd place for him. Mantas best of the rest. Then Tulio, a solid finish. A few ups and downs there, though, Eoin. He was definitely tangling.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. A lot of drivers will have stories to tell. Zeta Farrell, though, hopefully they'll just have a bit of a laugh, because they had the most shocking incident, having the collision there between Matt McCarry and Hamuli.
Yeah, I can't even say that it was commentator's curse, because it was basically the instant you said it that they took it. Maybe it was. I don't know. Eoin, I'll let you off. It was quite entertaining, though. I'm sure they will have a debrief among themselves, even if it is over some whatever tipple is favourable in Finland. P6 to Pekka Koivunen, Unite in P7. Rony, Thamuli, and Mad Jester finally finishing the race in P10. He had quite a drama-filled race. Mad Jester was up and down, but gets P10 in the end. A solid result. Redbot in P11. Yari, Ayub, Timu, Pedro Biar, Johnny SVK, Mika Sarkinen, Martin McCarry, Asker, and Texas, your top 20. Though Texas actually DNF'd. He didn't make it. We didn't notice when did he? Halfway through the race, apparently. A few laps to go, so about half the race in, decided to retire. Martin Kapau got trapped in the gravel at Yentwood and subsequently retired. And it looks like Falcon didn't start the race or DNF'd from the grid. So there we are, your 22 drivers. And, well, the interesting story, of course, is on the first page of the results, because Gabor will, of course, extend his RTFR Season 2 championship lead over the 100-point mark and will be over 50 points ahead of anybody else in the championship. Eoin, what a remarkable story that is as we enter the second half of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we'll have other drivers willing to see the next combination coming up in a fortnight. One of the mods is actually making a comeback, so there'll be definitely plenty of certainly excitement ahead of that one. So and obviously waiting for Sunday as well. So a lot to be preparing for, and it should be a great couple of weeks for sim racing.
Indeed. Two segues there, Eoin. One into the schedule and the other one into this weekend. Yeah, the 317th RTFR will be in 2 weeks' time on October 10th with a mod, the Dorito at Fernbay Green Race Green Events Alternative Race Green RTFR Events, I think. A long name of track. Anyway, it's at Fernbay. It's open config. It's going to be with a mod. It's going to be fun. Join us in 2 weeks for more RTFR action. But for the final time for RTFR, we need to remind our viewers about one little thing. Eoin mentioned it just a moment ago, but it is, of course, the 8 Hours of Westhill this weekend. Sign-ups are closed, the grid is set, and we have 8 hours of racing at Westhill with the brilliant LMP2 Prototype 2 mod and the Protec 92 GT3. These are custom-made, completely original cars built by the Argentina Turismo team. Works of art, Eoin, I have to say.
Yeah, you have to give every ounce of credit to the team there, Argentina Turismo, to very, very fine detail, both on the exterior, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of interior shots as well to show all of that work that they put in to make sure these cars are in the ultimate shape for their great day and possibly night in certain time zones of racing action.
Well, it'll be very early morning in the US and fairly late in the evening when things get going for some people. But for us, it will be nice and midday. So that will be that. But yes, we are going to have some very, very exciting stuff happening on Sunday. Just 5 short days to go until lights out for the 8 Hours of Westhill by Argentina Turismo. And if you can't wait that long, well, luck would have it, you've got 2 of the previous endurance races that have been organised by this team on our YouTube channel. You've got the 6 hours of Kyoto and the 6 hours of Aston to go and enjoy. 12 hours of epic racing. We have enjoyed immensely the previous 2 versions, or the previous 2 installments, should I say, of this essentially series at this point. The Argentina Turismo team said they weren't going to do any more for a while, but they've been generous enough to put together the 8 Hours of Westhill on Sunday. So please join us from midday UTC +1 for that one. And good luck to all the teams and drivers, of course, entering that, especially to Michael Malak, who is going to attempt all 8 hours solo in, no, not the GT3, the P2. Crazy man. And yeah, we hope that you enjoy whatever you're doing this weekend, if it's driving or watching. Join us here on Sim Broadcasts for that. Eoin, I think that's about everything we've got time for this evening. So we should wish our audience a good night and thank them for watching.
Yeah, I really appreciate all of the people who tuned in and put some messages into the chat to keep things going, and hope to see you again across the month of October. So plenty of excitement coming up.
Thanks to Race Green. Thanks, of course, to our sponsors, World Class Lions. Thanks to Chris McElroy in the background for keeping us up to date with all of the moving and shaking in that race. That was a chaotic one, as we predicted at the beginning. Congrats to Gabor and Sidus for another smashing result. And we'll see you all on the next one. It's Thursday's GTI Thursday from Fragmasters this week. And then it's the big one, the 8 Hours of Westhill on Sunday. We'll see you for hopefully both of those. And whatever you're doing, have a great evening. Good night.
Bye-bye.